Another interesting feature that we can observe within the Democrat Party is that they appear to be representing disadvantaged groups. They pretend that they are representing the disadvantaged groups. In some ways, they are able to actually get some handouts and benefits for disadvantaged groups. And that is considered to be their success when they can expand the rights of disadvantaged groups and people who are supposed to be kind of living at the bottom of society, or poor people, etc. And so basically they represent people who lack something. They represent people who are needy and they need something. They're not self-sufficient for the most part. And so Democrats represent people who are not self-sufficient, who need something, to get something from whom? From successful people, from others, in order to fill the gap in their lives. And I think that this kind of mentality of give me, give me, give me, and that because I'm deficient in some ways, I'm entitled to income redistribution to me from successful people, or some other redistribution, basically take from more successful person and give it to the loser. So because of that kind of mentality, they also have this problem within the party, where they are jealous to others' success, and they don't want anyone to be more successful than themselves. They like this egalitarian idea of kind of equality, where they wouldn't let someone to get ahead. The minute someone tries to get ahead, they pull them down, because they want equality. So if someone is more successful, more talented, more wealthy, they're very unhappy with that, and they want to take them down. So they also discourage, within their own ranks, they discourage success, because they represent deficient people, people that are defective in different ways, and people who are not just defective, but people who believe that someone should give something to them because they are defective, that they are incapable of getting it themselves, that they're incapable of becoming self-sufficient. And this is the biggest difference between Republicans and Democrats, is that Republicans, at least in theory or in their official agenda narrative, they represent people who are self-sufficient and who don't want to share their wealth or their success with defective parasites. And so there's this constant struggle between successful people who want to be left alone and unsuccessful losers who basically support Democrats to extort more rights and benefits from the successful people. And so this is the dynamic. And at the same time, there are many successful people who are self-sufficient, living in suburbs, or educated people, who also support Democrats. And this is the most interesting phenomenon, because they're being robbed by Democrats' tax system, taxation, regulations. Their businesses are being robbed. Their streets are infested with the homeless and the criminals, and yet they keep voting for the party that allows for all this to happen. And this is the thing. It's this bleeding heart compassion phenomenon that is causing the educated and successful people to vote for Democrats. They have this idea that they are on a mission, or that they have this kind of arrogant, I would say it's an arrogant idea, that they're morally superior, and they will feel good about themselves if they extort from other successful people some benefits for defective parasites and losers. This is essentially a translation of what is happening in very, very simple terms. Definitely they're not using these terms. They're using words like compassion. They're using words like humanism, humanity, etc. And they feel really great about themselves, that they're morally superior because they're fighting for the rights of others. They're fighting for the benefits for others, and they are ready to sacrifice themselves and their own interests for the sake of defective parasites. But they, of course, don't want to screen their the subjects of their generosity, and that is their main mistake. That is their error. Surely, if you want to be compassionate to a nice person who qualifies for your compassion, it's only going to advance you as a human being. And you can actually claim moral superiority if you're helping someone who is worthy of being helped. But if you're helping criminals, homeless thugs, drug addicts, welfare addicts, and if you're helping evil people at the expense of successful people, then what is so it's actually immoral. It's the opposite. You don't get any moral superiority from that. But they don't understand it because they've been getting wrong education, and that is where we need to start, with the better common sense education system that simply tells people that compassion should not be indiscriminate. We should screen the objects, the targets of our compassion.